Hi everyone, and welcome to this chair yoga on Feel Better Friday. Today we're going to start with a focus on our breath. So hopefully you're all seated comfortably in your chair. We'll just maybe take a few minutes to check that we are positioned correctly or comfortably really. So check that the feet are connected with the earth. You might have shoes or socks on. If it's a cold day, you might especially like to have your socks on. It's not too bad here. And feel that grounding sensation, so pressing the sole of the foot into the earth. And then letting our sit bones connect with our chair. So sort of letting the pelvis grow heavy as it sits down into the chair. Create a little bit of length through the torso, lengthening the spine, and let the shoulders soften, so maybe you roll your shoulders down a little onto the back. The hands could be sitting on the thighs if that's comfortable, and maybe the palms are facing up. It does help to broaden through the chest and gives that feeling of receiving loving, kind energy. And for this first focus on the breath, you might like to close your eyes, or perhaps you gently gaze down, just a soft, watery gaze. I'm going to close my eyes and start to take a few rounds of breath, being an observer, witnessing how your breath is flowing today. Noticing that natural rhythm of the breath. Notice how you're feeling in your body. And then as you begin to observe the breath, perhaps make the breath longer, smoother. You might like to slightly deepen the length of the inhale and the exhale. Take about 3 rounds of breath here. Just observing, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. You might create a little restriction at the back of the throat so it makes it easier to notice that breath sound. One more round of breath. And then keeping the eyes closed, we'll take a moment to just let the breath take a couple of regular breaths, and then we'll begin a box breathing technique. So at the end of the next exhale, we'll begin. So inhaling 2, 3, 4, holding the breath, so taking a pause, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, pausing, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Returning now to the natural rhythm, natural breath flow. And maybe you keep your eyes closed for a couple more rounds of breath and just notice how you feel. It can be quite a calming, relaxing breath practice. Sometimes it's nice to practice the box breathing, sometimes called the square breath, when you're feeling a little anxious or a little tense. And then when you're ready, we'll just gently open the eyes. Bring the hands to somewhere where it's comfortable. And I've been focusing on a few movements to help with neuropathy, which can be something that is quite prevalent during treatment or after treatment. So today we're going to move through a yoga sequence called the Pawan Mukt Asana series. We're going to do it seated. So we'll start moving our way up our body, so starting with our feet, with our toes. So the first movement is I'm going to extend my legs and making sure that you can see them properly. Maybe move a little forward in my chair. And the legs need to be extended, so perhaps I will turn to the side just to make it easier to see what I'm doing. So we're going to extend our legs out. Arms wherever it's comfortable. You might even like to hold on to the chair. And we'll just scrunch up our toes, so just really scrunching up the toes. Feel like you're actually trying to almost make a fist with the toes. Toes are scrunching. And then bring the toes back towards you. Sometimes you can get a little bit of cramp when you are doing these movements, but try and work through it. Will help if you tend to get cramp in the feet doing this kind of movement with your feet. It helps to sort of stretch and lengthen especially the sole of the foot and different parts of the foot. So scrunching up the toes, drawing the toes back towards the face, noticing how it feels, noticing if one foot has more range of movement than the other. I can see I've got a much better scrunch on one side than I do on the other. We'll do 2 more of these. I'm trying to keep that lift through the torso when you're sitting here in your chair. So the one thing with chair yoga, it is quite good for passively toning the abdominal region as well. Okay, 1 more. Now we'll move to a point of the toes and then a flex of the feet. So you can sort of feel that engagement all the way up the leg. Point and flex. I'm going to turn around so I can face everyone to continue with this one. So right off scoot my chair back. I can still stretch my feet out. There we are. And flexing, so toes draw back. So point, trying to keep that lift up through the body. Flexing the feet. Do it 4 more. Now the breath can support this, so you might inhale as you point and exhale as you draw the toes back towards you. Inhaling and exhaling. Am I moving in this sort of slow, mindful way? Sort of calming as well as doing that nice movement in the body. So maybe 1 more in each direction. Point and flex. Perfect. And now bringing the legs back in towards you. We'll start to do some movements into the ankle. So lifting or extending, depending what suits you. So your ankle movement might keep the heel down on the ground and circle around. Or you might like to lift the leg and do a little bit of circling with the leg lifted. This one here sort of needs a bit of support in that tummy region. So see what suits you. Continuing with that lifting up through the torso. We'll go the other way. Maybe you add in the opposite wrist. A little bit of circling. This is good for our brain as well, that working into our contralateral movement, working into opposite sides of the body, circling both directions. Don't forget to breathe, using that breath to support the movement. One more with this leg, and then we'll move to the other side. So choosing whether your leg's extended and you circle with the heel connecting, or if you lift the leg and then add in the opposite wrist. The inhale might sort of be one circle and the exhale might be the other. And going the other way. Two more. Beautiful. And then placing that down. We're going to now move into an ankle crank. So we bring our foot to rest over our leg. And you could do these movements sitting down on the floor if that suits you. We're just going to sort of crank. It's like you're cranking up the old aeroplanes that needed a crank, or the old car handle that started the motor. This is the crank to start up the legs. So maybe 5 or 6 little cranks in each direction. Coordinating that breath and movement. Okie. And then we'll move to the other side, so placing that foot down, noticing. And maybe if it's not comfortable for you to lift the leg quite so high, you might be able to rest the foot down, or even sort of, find something to rest the foot on to assist with the movement. So you can make that movement suit your body. There's a few different variations there. We're moving, cranking one way, and then we're going to change and crank in the other direction. Beautiful. Breathing. And then releasing that leg down. Maybe you had a little pat. Sometimes I quite like to just have a little wake up of the legs as we make our way up the legs. So patting up and down, maybe a rub, just waking up the flow of energy, the flow of blood through the legs. Beautiful. For our next one, you might like to be a little further back in your chair. If you're too far forward, it's a little bit harder on the abdominals to create the movement. So for our next one, we'll lift the leg. So lifting, we'll start with our right leg, lifting the knee, extending the foot. You might point the toe. Inhale to bend, exhale to release it down. Moving to the other side. Lift, point, inhale, and exhale. If you want to, for the next one, you can add in an arm. So inhale to lift the arm and the opposite leg. Extend, bend, release. Other side. Lifting, extending, bending, releasing. Maybe this time you flex the foot, so lifting the leg up. And when you extend the arm, maybe you make the hand into a soft fist. Inhale, exhale, lift, extend, bend, lower. We'll do one more of each movement on each side, so lifting, reaching up with the arm, pointing the toe. Bend, lower, lift, extend, bend, release. This time the flexed foot, soft fist. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Little shake out, maybe pitter-pattering of the feet. Getting that blood flowing into the feet, feeling yourself connecting, feeling a little grounded. Beautiful. And we'll clasp under the right knee, maybe a little bit more space here. We're just going to circle, so drawing a circle with the toe. We'll do about 5 circles in each direction. Breathing. I like to think about sending the breath into the area where the movement is occurring. The breath creates softness and sort of lengthens the body. So 5 circles in each direction. And there might be a smaller circle for you. Maybe a little circle here. You can even draw a circle on the carpet with the foot. We'll move to the other side. You can even start small and get bigger. Maybe you start circling in the opposite direction with this knee. Circling around. Beautiful. Reversing. Maybe a small circle to finish. Fantastic. And then placing that foot down. We've made our way up, we've worked in our knees, and now we'll come into our hips. So our first one we'll do is our opening out of the hip. There's a few different variations of this movement. So you might just slide and open. I think of it like opening the gate, close the gate. Or you could lift, inhale to lift, exhale out, lower, lift, close, lower. So choosing the movement that feels the best for you and trying to move quite slowly. In these movements, it's quite sort of simple to go really fast, but it's a little more challenging to move in a slower way. So moving as slowly as you can. Opening out, closing, lifting, opening, lowering, lifting, closing, lowering. Moving to the other side. So whatever you did on the first side, you might feel like doing something different on this side. Our body's quite different, especially in our hips, which is where we're working now. So see what suits, have a go at each movement and see what feels the best in your body on this side. Inhale, exhale, lower, lift, close, lower. Use the breath. And we'll do one more on this side. Extending down, lifting back, close. Do a little wriggle. You might even do some walking. Sometimes you can walk forward and back in your chair. Here we are. Movement just to release any tension in the hips. Here we are. And we'll come into our rock the baby. So there's a few variations of this. So if you have enough movement, range of movement into the hip area, then you might be moving like this. Just going to grab a little prop I have here, just in case, and something that you might like to use on another day. So if lifting your foot up this sort of height is not comfortable for you, then something, this is a tie, but you might have dressing gown cord. You can even use a tea towel. Just wrap something around the foot. What we want to do is create a side to side movement. So I'll call this rocking the baby. So this might be what works for you, or you might hold onto the foot, you can hold the ankle, or if you have a bit more movement, you can bring the knee. Mine only comes into my elbow. Some people can really get their knee up into their armpit, but today we'll work on this one. We're just rocking from side to side. It's quite soothing, like rocking a baby. So, gently moving from side to side. And choosing what feels good for you, trying to keep that length in the spine. Couple more rocks. Using the breath. It's very nice and soothing for the parasympathetic nervous system. Excuse me. It's always something. Sorry about that. It does, it does happen every now and again. Okay, so coming back to the other side, choosing the movement that feels the best for you there. So either the movement with the tie, the movement with the holding of the foot, the movement with the ankle, or bringing the foot up in that nice side to side rocking. Beautiful. You can even shut your eyes and just take a moment to sort of feel into that soothing, restful sensation. It's almost like giving your leg a bit of a hug. Fantastic. Okie dokie. And then releasing that leg down. And we'll come back to a similar movement. So we're going to next come into our figure 4. This is working into our outer hip. We were more in our inner hip. So once again, finding what feels comfortable in your body. So you could lift the leg and have it here. Once again, a tie might work well. So you might sort of have the foot where you can rest it against, or you could ease back on the chair and bring your foot to rest. So somewhere where you can feel it's comfortable for you. Lengthening up through the body. And this might be enough. Little stretch here. If you want to increase it, you can start to fold a little forward. And it just makes the lengthening a little stronger. Once again, breathing into the place where you can feel the sensation. And take 2 more breaths here. And untucking that foot, choosing what's comfortable on the other side. So perhaps the foot comes up to rest on the chair. I'll do this one on this side just as a variation. You can bring yourself over a little. Hands, you might hold onto the chair, you might hold onto the knees. Finding something that suits. If the leg won't lift up, you can even place a block or just bring it to rest beside. You could even place the foot on top of your grounded leg, so the knees just reaching out, and find a little fold forward. Once more, taking a couple of breaths. And we're hinging from the hips, so keeping that long line of energy. Inhale, rising back up. Releasing that leg. We'll do one more movement, one more stretch into the legs. So coming back to the first side, we'll extend. Perhaps move forward. I'll go to the side again to give a side view. Perhaps at the edge of the chair, extending the right leg out. I'm going to bring the left hand, sorry about that. Okay, so opposite hand, so right leg's extended, left hand to rest on the sacrum. So we're just bringing that hand to the low back. And we're just going to extend the right arm up or even to a cactus, hinging forward to wherever it suits you. So you might have your gaze slightly lifted, you might have your hand on your thigh, you might have your hand on your shin, you might fall down. We're going to move with our breath. So inhale to come back up, extend, exhale, folding down. Come back to face forward so I can see you all. And lifting and folding. Once more, inhale to lift up. Exhale, fold and hold. So this time fold forward. If you'd like to, you can bring the other hand down. So you're extending, maybe taking hold of some part of that leg. You might have your hands on the calf. You might feel like you want to keep them on the shin, on the thigh. And you could have the head dropping forward or maybe gazing a little out. Wherever you are, take one more round of breath. And then we'll lift up with cactus arms. So inhale to bring the arms out into a cactus shape. This helps to support the back, bring the hands to our heart, bend the leg. Take a moment, one round of breath, noticing how you feel. And then moving to the other side. So hand behind the back, leg extended, maybe scooting a bit forward to the edge of the chair to give some space. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, fold. Do one more lift and lower. Inhale. And exhale. Perhaps this time you release the other hand down. And just find that inner focus, turning within. Hands are connecting with the earth. Feel the connection with Mother Earth. One more round of breath here. And then once more, cactus arms rising up. Expanding through the chest. Hands back to the heart, foot back towards the body. Beautiful. Now let's move into our spine. So a little bit of gentle movement into the spine. And turn around again just to be sure. So we'll do a few rounds of our seated cat-cow. So as we inhale, we're going to broaden and expand through the chest. Our belly might come a little forward. We're allowed to do that on this one. And we're going to maybe gaze up. The hands could be wherever you'd like them to be. Sometimes it's nice to sort of have a little bit of assistance by holding onto the knees and really drawing that heart through. And then as we exhale, we're going to round, so we're tucking everything in. Navel back to spine, expanding through the upper back, chins tucking towards the throat. Let's do about 4 more rounds. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. broadening through the chest, folding, turning within. Twice more, opening and closing in. Expanding and opening. That heart, that chest broadening. And then contracting. Beautiful. And we'll continue with a variation of that movement. So you can keep the feet where they are, which is sort of about hip width distance apart, or you might bring the feet a little wider. I'm going to come into a circling movement with that same opening and closing sort of movement of the chest. So as you maybe circle, lean towards one knee, you can circle forward, so heart shining forward. And then as you come back, you can round. So these are the Sufi circles or goddess circles. Once more softening into the hip area. Really nice movement into the spine. I quite like to get quite close to the edge of my chair for this one and really find a lot of space. One more circle. Then moving the opposite direction. So changing, going the other way. Circling round. Finding your rhythm. Usually when we come forward, we're inhaling when that sort of space in the heart, and as we round back, we will exhale. So let's do 2 more in this direction. And then coming back to center. And we'll bring our left forearm to rest on our left thigh. You might even like to bring the first finger and thumb to touch. This is our mudra for calm. It's a little lean to the side. We'll find a side stretch here. So depending on what feels good for you, you might even just keep the hand on the thigh and just press. Use a little bit of resistance to press away, feeling a lengthening in the side body. You could bring your hand to the shoulder to find a little bit more space, or even a cactus. So choosing what feels good for you. The gaze could be down, out, or even up. Take one more breath here, breathing into that side body. Inhale, coming up. Taking that to the other side. First finger and thumb touch. And maybe using that resistance to lengthen out, expanding. One more breath here. And then easing ourselves back upright, bringing the knees together. We'll start to do a little bit of work let's do a couple of shoulder rolls first. Gently lifting the shoulders, rolling forward, up and down the back. Forward, up, and down. Reversing. And last one in this direction. And I'm going to do a few movements into our fingers just to sort of stretch out the fingers and the wrists and the hands. So we'll start with our spreading our fingers as wide as we can, so piano hands. So fingers spread and then close into a fist. You could have the arms a little higher. This is quite nice where they are, cactus sort of height. If you want to extend them a little higher, feel free. Extend palms wide, fingers spread, close. You might alternate where the thumb is, so maybe placing the thumb inside, soft fist on the inside, open, close. Maybe we speed it up a bit. Open, close, open, close. Makes it a good challenge for the brain to remember where the thumb needs to go. Couple more. Sometimes the arms start to get a bit heavy. See if we can do 5 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Shake out the wrists. You can even shake forward, shake out to the sides, shake up in the air a little bit, shake in a circle. And then we'll make our soft fists and we'll do a few figure 8 movements with the wrist. Beautiful. And just flicking, so flicking the first finger, the second finger, ring finger, little finger. Reversing it back. Bring the hands together, clasp. If it feels okay to bring the forearms to touch, then that's great. If not, you can keep the elbows a little apart. Just make a figure 8 movement with the wrists. Circling around. Friend told me this is a really good warm-up for table tennis. So if anyone's playing table tennis later today, you'll be well warmed. Figure 8ing in the other direction. Trying to keep those movements slow. Beautiful. And then pausing at the centre, we're going to unclasp. I'm going to slide the fingers along one so that it's a funny clasp. And then go back to our figure 8. Beautiful. And reverse it. Release, another little shake out. And we've got 2 more movements and then a short relaxation. So bring the palms into our Anjali Mudra. A little bit of resistance pressing into the palms. And we'll just press the palms over to one side and we'll gaze to the opposite side. Inhale, bring it back, over, coming back. Pressing the palms out, extending, broadening through the chest. Inhale, lift the palms just to only where it suits you. So I'm keeping mine quite soft. And we're just going to let the fingers float out. And I quite like to use the back of my chair, holding onto the chair and just broadening through the chest. Feel that expansion. This is really good for sort of helping that sort of little hunchy sort of back that we get when we're sitting at our computer or sitting at a desk for a long time. So feel that sort of resistance, broadening, opening, expanding there. And release. Gently let go. Bring the hands back to centre. We'll do that once more, but this time we're going to use our funny clasp, our non-familiar. Clasping the hands together, pressing away, broaden. Just feel like you're hugging a tree. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, floating fingertips down. Taking hold of the chair, expanding and opening. One more breath. And release. Hands come back to centre. We'll finish with a couple of twists and then one round of our sun breath. So inhale, fingertips reach up. And then we find a gentle twist. So one hand across the body, one hand behind. to centre, inhale up. Exhale, gentle twist. We'll do one more each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Bringing yourself back to centre, hands at the heart. Inhale, fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, broadening out, floating hands down by the sides. Inhale, scooping up, big load of energy. A big load of calm. Bring that calming, peaceful, mindful sensation back to the heart space. And we'll just bring our hands back to where we started, so hands coming to rest on the thighs, palms up. We'll make our way back into our chair, to our comfortable space. Once more feeling the connection with the feet in the earth. And just let the back of your chair support you, so you can lean back a little into the chair. Feel like it's holding you, supporting you. Perhaps you close the eyes once more. And just allow the body to soften. Let the mind empty. Feel the connection of the feet and the earth. The sensation of being grounded, centered, connected. Feel that connection to the community that supports you. Allow the whole foot to relax and soften. Releasing and relaxing into the lower leg, shin, the calf. Soften the knees, the thighs, sit bones, pressing down into the chair. Pelvis grows heavier and heavier. Notice the soft rise and fall of the belly with the breath. The spine lengthens and softens. Shoulders relaxing away from the ears. A sense of broadening and expanding in the heart space. Feel that giving and receiving of love. The back of the neck is really long. Soften the brow. Soften the jaw. Lift the corners of the mouth into a gentle smile. Whole face, whole body, comfortable, relaxed, at ease. Your breath is soft, like a baby's breath. And as you breathe slowly and gently, you become more relaxed with each breath. Calm, at peace. Feeling a deep sense of peace and harmony washing over you. Breathe in peace. Breathe in calm. Breathe in stillness. bring awareness back to the warm breath, warming the body. Feel the connection of the feet and the earth. Begin to gently wriggle the fingers, softly wiggle your toes. Bring your palms together, rub them, create some warmth. Place the hands over the eyes, gently opening and closing the eyes behind the hands. Rub the hands together again. Place them over the eyes once more. Blink, blink, blink. Take those hands, wrap them around your shoulders, give yourself a great big hug. Say to yourself, I feel calm and serene. Unwrap the arms, wrap them in the other direction, give yourself another hug. Say to yourself, I am loved and cherished. When you're ready to release that hug, bring your hands back into your Anjali Mudra at heart center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. The inner calm in me sees and acknowledges the inner calm in all of you. Namaste.